So the next feature I want to show you is Dataguard. Okay, so Dataguard, this is the general layout. Now what you can see here, okay, is you can see on the tabs here, scheduled backup, scheduled syncs. Okay, now one of the first things that you need to realize is that this here, let's go into the settings so we can actually see the job here. You can see that, first of all, the last sync result. Okay, so I've got this, and if I click, and I've been uninstalling and reinstalling this a fair bit, so this is a little bit dated, but I can click on a run now, okay, which is not available in Axe Scheduler, okay, and it's going to go through login process, and then it's going to complete the sync, logged in, syncing, so on and so forth. So I'm going to move that off, okay, and now let's go into the edit job. Here's your standard dialog box for logging in. Here is your settings, the from and to. So when do you want to sync from? I want to sync from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I want to sync hourly, okay? And then you can, adjudge how many hours. You can set daily, so on and so forth, set the days, and then weekly, as you might guess, okay? Now, if you're thinking, okay, well, hourly is already supported by Axe Scheduler, why is that an improvement? Well, the improvement is I can actually add a second sync setting for the same database with the same user that starts at a different time, like maybe the bottom of the hour as opposed to the top of the hour. That little option allows me to then sync every 30 minutes or sync every 20 minutes, whichever. I can just set up different sync schedules for the same database and the same user, allowing me to get as close to real-time syncing as some of the desktop customers want. So that's a huge benefit. With the backup, it's the same kind of dialog box for access. Okay, you can say backup to, perform maintenance here, do not include the attachments, set the number of backups. Okay, and then you can again set the time. Okay, to and from, and then you can set. Obviously, they've grayed out hourly, and then set weekdays, weekends, whichever. Okay. Now, one of the nice things is go into settings. By the way, you've got a log viewer here, okay, and you can check the logs so you don't get them in one big thing, okay. If you go into settings, you can see that the service is running. This checkbox here, okay, so my syncing is done. This checkbox here, where is it? Not sure why it's not displaying, okay, but that is normally, hold on. Okay, let me go back to, I inadvertently closed it. Okay, so let's go back to settings. So we've got the running. This allows us to start. Now, I mentioned to Alyssa in one of our recent meetings that we didn't need the SQL manager anymore because this utility also provides an easy status for stopping and starting SQL. So here it is. You can stop, start, restart, refresh, whichever. So that utility is now built in, okay? Now here is where you set up the email delivery settings. Now this is really key because as you know from past Axe Scheduler, it would send you a notification for everything, all successes, all failures, to the point that people wouldn't pay attention to it. That isn't an issue. This only works with, it only notifies you of failures. But even more importantly, if let's say an administrator changes their password and this service cannot log in, it will notify you of that. We've had many cases where a person will change their password, not be aware that that's stopped their backing up, and they've gone months without backing up. And then when they need it, they don't have that data backed up safely. Okay, so that will that's one big thing where we can alert people to something not even starting, not just failing. Okay, and now we've got the open auth. You've got SMTP, you've got Google, and as you can see here, test connection. Okay, the Microsoft Open Authentication is working. Okay, and so you've got the run now, which already worked. Okay, the scheduled sync run now, and that's basically it. This Act Scheduler is not a terribly feature-rich utility, but this adds a simplicity to it. Very simple user interface, showing you the different columns, um, the logs and everything. But what is really key with Act Scheduler is the one vulnerability that it has is that Act Scheduler saves all the settings, all the backup settings, all the scheduled settings, all the maintenance settings in an XML file. And I can tell you that our admin staff, our support staff, I should say, get regular calls from customers saying that their Act Scheduler isn't working, it's not syncing, it's not backing up because the XML file gets corrupted. And if the XML file gets corrupted, then not only will nothing work because it doesn't know how to log into the database, it doesn't know what the settings are, but then you've got to redo all of those settings all over again. All of these settings are saved in a JSON file and much more secure and stable. Okay, and that's it for the app overview today. I hope you guys find this useful. Please let me know if you have any questions.